September 15th, 2016. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 108 of You Can Bet On That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet On That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
So, on our last episode, listener August was telling us how at the Tioga Downs Casino in Nichols, New York, the video poker is great. They've got great pay tables.
Where is Nichols, New York?
It's in the southern part of the state. So it's kind of in the middle of the state, real close to the Pennsylvania border.
Oh, okay.
Just so right south part of the state.
So it's not near New York City.
No.
It's a smaller town.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So anyway, August said the video poker there is really good. And in particular, he found a machine, a double-double bonus machine, where the Royal Flush paid 5,000 coins instead of 4,000. So that sounded pretty good, and we reported that a game like that has over a 99.5% payback.
Which seems too good to be true.
Yeah, right. Seems too good to be true. And I'm thinking, all right, well, what we failed to realize, and thank you to listener Dennis for pointing this out to us, is that Tioga Downs is a racino. That's a casino and a racetrack combined, right? And at New York racinos, the video poker machines are not the typical machines we're used to where you're being dealt cards from a randomly shuffled virtual deck. It is not a random deal that you get here.
Right. So it's not like a single deck and you're,
No, these New York Racino video poker machines are actually video lottery terminals. Okay? They're like video lottery scratch-off tickets.
Okay.
So
there's so many winners.
Yeah, exactly.
Predetermined.
Basically predetermined.
How
right.
many winners there are going to be and how much the take's going to be.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So whether or not you win a hand and how much you win, it's predetermined based on this site controller. Right? So everything's connected. As a result, the payback on these Racino machines is 92%.
Yeah, substantial.
And that's not a theoretical. That's literally 92% because, like you said, it's it's all predetermined. Right? Yeah.
Like when they print those scratchers, they know exactly how much money they're going to give away.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Right. And there's nothing, this is the worst part, there's nothing on the machines that indicate that they're any different from a video poker machine you'd find in a Vegas casino.
Oh, okay. So a guy probably just figures it's a regular machine.
You go in there and, okay, hey, video poker, I love that.
That's why
great.
August thought it was so great.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
That's kind of deceptive in a way.
Very much so.
Right? You'd think that would be illegal.
I know.
It'd be like false advertising.
It really should be. There should be some kind of sticker or something on it.
Oh, there probably is a sticker.
I don't think so from what I read.
It's probably in the bathroom, underneath, on the bottom of a urinal, on the very bottom part. And you actually have to get down on the ground, the part where, everyone misses the piece.
Right.
You got to lay in that, look up to see the sign that says, you're going to get screwed here. Basically, that's what it says.
That's right. Yeah. And then you're thinking, boy, I hope that's the video poker they're talking about.
Right. It doesn't say anything about poker. It just says, this is where you get screwed.
So anyway, beware. If you're in New York and you're in one of these racinos.
You happen to go in the restroom there and you see a woman in the bathroom with her head underneath the urinal looking up. She's just checking out the machines.
She's doing. She's
checking out the machines.
She's looking for the pay table, so to speak. Yeah. Hey, now, listener David sent us a link to an article about something that I was very surprised to see this. There has been an agreement that Caesars Entertainment has made with a company called Gamblit. And this agreement will introduce skill-based gaming to their properties. And in a very happy coincidence for us, the first property to get these games is going to be Harrah's Southern California.
Well, that's weird.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Now, why would that be the first property?
I don't know, but that's where they're initially rolling it out.
Those yahoos down there in San Diego, let's screw them first.
Well,
that's what they're thinking.
Maybe that's what it is. So let me read to you from Caesars' press release. Caesars and Gamblit plan to debut the positions at Harrah's Rincon in Southern California. It's not called Rincon anymore, but that's
right.
We call it that sometimes too. Each gaming position will contain multiple themes and cutting-edge skill-based games, including a match 3 game and word matching game. Caesars also plans to field trial Gamblit's positions in its Nevada properties, including Las Vegas, pending regulatory approval. After the field trial, Caesars anticipates deployment of 125 Gambit gaming positions into multiple Nevada properties. Caesars and Gambit hope to introduce more than 100 positions into additional markets beginning in early 2017 and expand the presence of these games across the Caesars network. So there you go. Skill-based gambling is finally coming, and we're going to be able to see it first here.
We're on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
Now, I just got one question.
What's that?
Will the craps tables be less crowded?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well,
Think people will go?
It's all the millennials who are playing craps with us right now.
Yeah.
All
those millennials.
They're going to be leaving
Yeah.
and going over and playing these skill-based games. Yep. You got that right. Yeah.
So the same crowd as usual at the craps table.
Yeah, it's going to be the same. Yeah. Also, I want to mention this. For some reason, David's email that he sent regarding this went straight to our junk folder. Luckily, I just happened to be looking in there and found it. I'm going to have to do that more often, just check the junk. I have no idea why it went in there. I always respond to emails. So if for some reason you've emailed us and I haven't responded, please either try again or, if it's really the mail that's a problem, contact us some other way, call in or tweet or contact us via Facebook, because I always respond. And maybe some have slipped through that, into the junk that I just haven't noticed before. Yeah.
Yeah, and if they did, we're sorry about that, because Mark doesn't check his junk enough.
Wow, you're on fire tonight. And before we started recording, you said you were in a bad mood. I think I want you in a bad mood every time.
I was busy at work, I'm telling you.
We got another email from Matthew. Let me just read to you what he said here. This week at a local casino, Rivers Casino in Des Plaines, Illinois. I hope I pronounced that. It's so funny because
Des Plaines.
No, it's with an S. It's Des Plaines. But the thing is now, my wife is from Illinois, and she always complained about how Ali Sheedy from the Breakfast Club said, "Oh yeah, we filmed in Des Plaines," and that it just was real awkward the way that it was pronounced. So,
but that is the right way to pronounce it?
It's Des Plaines. Yeah, you pronounce the S, even though you don't pronounce the S in Illinois. Yeah. You do in Des Plaines.
Boy, they are really screwed up in Illinois.
I hope the Cubs win the World Series, by the way, too. I don't know if anybody saw my tweet about that. So
I did.
Get to that
you know later. What? I do, because then we will be the worst city in America. It'll finally come out.
Yeah.
San Diego's such a nice place. No, it sucks living here.
All right, we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's get back to Matthew's email. Let me start again here. This week at a local casino, Rivers Casino in Des Plaines, Illinois, a man was assaulted and robbed in the parking lot of $7,000. I was just wondering if you have ever, upon winning a lot of money, asked security to escort you either to your car or your room. Isn't that something you can do? Do you ever feel uncomfortable when you walk away up big and there are people who are watching the game and know you have a lot of money? Now, we never have asked for an escort, but it is certainly something that you can do.
Oh, a lot of people do. And I definitely would if I had any inkling that something was going to happen.
Or if you were alone. Usually you and I are together, so we're kind of watching out for...
with my dad. There's usually a group of us, so that's much safer.
Yes, definitely.
But if I was alone and I had just won, $5,000-$10,000, I would have security walk me to my car.
We definitely are always on alert. I know when we hit all those fours at Caesar's Palace years ago and we won a lot of money, I mean, the whole weekend we were watching our back and, when we had to go in the parking lot and even on the drive. And, even just coming home from the casino on a regular night when maybe we haven't won a lot of money, but just, we're regulars. We are always watching as we leave. Is somebody following us when we're on the road? Is there a car behind us?
Yeah, even all the way back to the house,
Absolutely.
which is a long ways away. Absolutely. We're watching for stuff like that because it could happen. And it did happen to a lady here who lived in Mira Mesa.
It's close by to San Diego, huh?
Yeah.
It's part of San Diego.
It's part of San Diego, actually. But she had won quite a bit at, I believe it was Saquon. And she headed home. And then she actually got home and was in her house. And then they broke in.
Yeah.
In the process, it actually killed her. It's a very sad story, but took her money. And it was because they knew she had just won a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Somebody watching her.
So, no, you definitely have to be aware of that. So, absolutely, if you don't feel comfortable at all, or just as a matter of fact, especially if you're alone.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but especially if you're a woman, too.
Right. You're a much bigger... This lady was a woman who is elderly.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like a prime target.
It's awful. Just terrible.
Well, I solved that, though. I just don't win.
Yeah, you found a loophole to this whole thing. Yeah, this thing. Nobody. Oh, is that Dr. Mike? Yeah. Let's move on. Next victim.
Yeah. $20, it's not worth it.
Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link at the top of the page. That way, when you make a purchase, we get a little kickback that helps cover the costs of hosting the show, and it doesn't cost you a thing. You'll pay the same price just like normal. All right, let's move on to our voicemail hotline. Remember, call our hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. First up is Marty.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. Marty from Northern California. I got to call you with a crap story from last Saturday. I've already posted the picture on the 500 Facebook page. Cromwell, Saturday morning, walk up to the table. There's only about 3 people at the table. Kid at the other end of the table. First time he's ever thrown dice. Throws for 70 minutes. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. I started out with literally $100 inside and then a $10 pass line bet with 200 behind. Made a few come bets. By the time the guy sevened out, I had it up to $1,500 on almost every number. 15 and 1,500. Literally ran the group out of chips. They had this rule at the Cromwell. I was betting for the dealers. I had the dealers up at 300 on top of the 5 and 9. And every time we hit, it pays 450. And they can only drop green chips. So it's a stack of green going into the chip bucket almost every other time. So the most incredible thing I've ever seen. The best part of the story, which only a craps player like you guys would get, was he hits the 4th point on the fire bet. And then they said, hey, we've got to fill this table because they've been waiting for, almost a half hour. So I said, yeah, it's great time. Go ahead, fill the table. They fill the table. He comes out on a 7. So I said, okay, everything comes down. And he comes right back, comes out on 5, boom, 7 out. So all the numbers that were covered with the huge come bets were already in the rack. So the greatest thing in the world. Anyway,
Perfect.
That's my crap story from the weekend. Beat him up real bad, well into the 5 figures, and it was just about as much fun as you could have at the dice table anywhere on the planet. So anyway, love the show, guys. I can't make VIP. I'm going to be actually be in Vegas the weekend before and the weekend after VIP. So have a great time, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, so what Marty was saying was he had come bets up there.
Right.
$15 base bets with $1,500 odds.
Right.
And when the 7 came out on the come out roll,
He loses
the come
his
bets
base
lost,
bet.
but he gets his odds back.
Right.
Now, I give him credit because if that had been me,
You would have kept him up.
yeah, I would have
Right.
kept him up and lost a ton. So it's great that he let them come down.
Right.
And yeah, that's perfect timing. So good discipline
That's
there.
Very
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
discipline. I saw that picture Mark showed me.
Yeah,
the
and I'll
picture.
post it to our webpage
Yeah,
too.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just no chips left.
Yeah.
In there. We actually showed that picture, Marty, to the dealers at Harrah's. You
you
had
did
sent,
this
You had sent
last
it to
week?
me.
Yeah.
Mark wasn't there last weekend.
Yeah.
He had sent the picture to me. I showed the picture to the dealers in the pit. They were amazed too. They were like, "Oh my god!" You
Yeah.
can see that it's just wiped out.
Yeah. Well, it's like Marty was saying, and this is pretty typical. They will not allow dealers' tips they won't allow black chips
Right.
to drop into the dealers'
Right.
chips. 25 is like the highest denomination. So yeah, that's a good reason why everything got cleared out, right? All these tips going
All the
in.
tips, yeah. And I asked about that too. And I asked one of the pit bosses out at Rincon, and he said, yeah, 25 is the max we'll let go in there.
Yeah.
Unless, he said, there's some weird circumstance, like hitting the fire bet.
Oh, okay, sure.
You know,
Because you're not going to put $5,000 worth of green into the.
in there.
Yeah, right.
So when they hit the fire bet, they do put in hundreds.
Okay.
He said is the
Okay.
most.
Still be hundreds,
It's still,
yeah.
if it was 5,000, it's still a lot of hundreds.
Yeah.
But they won't go above 100, but they'll do it for certain things.
Yeah, when it's a big
And he
payout like
mentioned
that.
the fire bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, on a regular bet, if you'd won like 1,000 for them, they're going to drop all green.
Yeah. What a dream situation. Well, whether or not this is related, we hate to report this, but listener Patrick told us that at the Cromwell, they've gone back to 3, 4, 5 times odds.
Yeah, I'd like to somebody else to verify.
Yeah,
that,
just to see if
But
maybe it was a temporary thing.
Yeah,
or,
as soon as Mark texted me that had happened, I said, "Oh my God, is it because they got wiped out at that one time?"
yeah, maybe it's possible.
If it is, that's so lame.
it really is.
It
If that
really
is the reason,
I know you're going to have a bad night here
Yeah.
and there, but in the long run, that's to their advantage, right?
That is too bad if that's the case because we never got there for the 100 times odds. This started right after VZT, and now VIMF is coming up, and it looks like we just missed out if that's
how
really
long
the case.
was that? Like maybe
Well, let's see.
4 months?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That's good. But shoot, I thought it was going to be something that was going to
Well, remember they had
survive, so.
originally told us it was just going to be one table, and it was going to be a limited amount of time, like on Saturday nights. For
That's
a few
right. That's what they
hours.
told us initially,
Yeah.
yes.
And then all of a sudden, it's like every table all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I mean, maybe it didn't pay out. Maybe they realized people weren't even taking 100. But then why not still have it?
Yeah, I don't know. But when these rolls get big, that's when suddenly everybody's taking 100 times odds because
Yeah,
they're having a
right,
big roll.
'cause they
So
have a big
yeah.
roll. Then
Well,
some
we'll see if
pit
any
boss craps his pants. And
right,
then they
exactly.
Have to,
That's
and
what
they
it
have
is,
to
and
do it.
so if anybody else goes to Cromwell, please double check on that and give us the bad news if that's the case. All right, let's hear a trip report from Kevin.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Kevin from San Antonio. Had a couple brutal trips to Vegas, and finally came back after my last trip, birthday trip. And it's interesting. I was talking to a friend who's very into statistics and stuff, and I was laying out with my notes what had happened over the 2 previous trips, and he couldn't believe the variance in it. But then he looked at me and he said, "Why the heck weren't you playing Don't?" Anyway, probably should have switched. But this last trip was fantastic. Stayed in Monte Carlo. Interesting to stay there before they make all the major renovations. I got to say, it's a lot nicer than I remember. We hadn't stayed there in a long time. And the pit and the dealers were fantastic. We had dinner in Andres there for the birthday, and a great experience, amazing service. Food was fantastic. As far as the gambling, we tried to switch everything up. We got there, got some food, took a nap, walked around, stayed away from all the gambling until a little bit later. Then went over to the Cromwell finally and decided to give it a try. And they've got that 10 times odds, or I guess 100 times odds rather. And they put the fire bet there and stepped up to a table, put the money in, and decided to go a little bit crazy for the birthday and played 10 times odds. The minimum was $10 on the pass line. And I decided I'm leaving if I double it or lose half, similar to some of the calls you've had recently. Well, it only took about 20 minutes to double it, and I did as I promised myself, walk away.
That's sweet.
Later that night, we're over to Monte Carlo. As I said, I was actually pretty impressed. They have 4 craps tables over there, very standard rules. Tables were $10 and $15, packed. All 4 of the tables were packed, and was playing over there and was playing some of that's all tall and all small. Crazy enough, I hit one of the all smalls, another guy hit another all small, and then 2 people that night hit all tall. What a great night! Had a great time. Same thing with the blackjack over there. The dealers were fantastic. They've got a double deck game over there with great rules and great dealers. Funny enough, the last day we're heading out and decided to go play a couple hours, had a couple hours to kill, and they were playing in the morning. And went down to that same double deck game, and there was no one else there, so I was the only one playing. And you get rated on time, and your time's your bet in some formula, whatever else. So I said to the dealer, I hate playing by myself. And he said, yeah, it's all right, whatever. Someone will come along. And then we started chatting, and it turns out he's into some of the same stuff I am into. So we ended up slow playing this double deck game. I mean, creeping along, and I thought the pit or somebody was going to complain. Nope, they didn't care at all. We were probably chatting, and having a bet every minute or two, which is insane. Had a great time over there. Everybody treated us really well. A great trip, and got the bankroll back a little bit for VIMP. Look forward to seeing you guys there.
Great, Kevin. Yeah, we'll see you at VIMP. Yep. Now, Mike, you've hit on the all small tall, you've hit the all before, haven't you?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
For what, like $5?
Yeah, I have hit it for 5, but okay. I think once I hit it for 10.
Okay. So Kevin actually followed up with an email. He was, do you remember if the payout took a while? Did they need to? No. This was interesting because Kevin.
But this was at Monte Carlo.
Kevin was at Monte Carlo, right?
Yeah. I did it. It was at Nugget.
Oh, Golden Nugget?
Yeah,
okay.
Nugget.
Yeah.
They just paid it right off.
Yeah, Kevin was saying that at least at Monte Carlo, they had to call up, to approve it or whatever,
sure
something
they
like
mark
that.
A number that wasn't
something like that. I guess they go through. I don't know if they go through the tape or whatever. Kevin said it's funny because they count out the chips first,
right?
And then they make the call. And I guess Kevin kind of went for his chips, before they finished the call, and they were all freaking out. Sir, what are you doing? So.
Well, it's kind of like in the fire bet, right?
Yeah.
When you hit all 6.
Yeah.
They call Well,
And
they review the tape and make sure that it really was, that something didn't get marked weird or something.
I guess the fire bet's different though, because when you win the fire bet, the roll is still going.
Right.
So they don't pay you right away, but
they're probably already looking.
They're probably already looking on all
Right.
small tall. As soon as it hits, they pay.
Right.
Because it could start over again.
Right,
On the
exactly.
very next
It
roll,
does.
right? If they
It
want
could
to.
be,
Yeah.
right,
So
yeah.
if somebody made the bet. Yeah.
He could make his point and then 7 out, and then come out on a 7, and it would start all over again.
Or just as soon as they hit them all is what I'm saying. If they hit them all,
Do they take it down right then?
I think so, because it's paid out, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Because they could
And you
start over again. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Now I'm not so sure. Now I'm not so sure what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
I don't
'cause
know, but I know you can. The roll can continue.
Yes. Oh,
Let's
absolutely.
say you
Oh, of
needed a
course,
12,
of course.
You hit a 12, and then
Yeah.
the guy makes his point of 6.
Oh, yeah.
And
sure.
then, he 7s on the come out. That kills the all tall, all small, but
yeah.
you're still rolling.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's go to a call from Taylor. I was thinking about this. Taylor, he might not have been the very first listener that we met, but he was the very first listener we met in Las Vegas. Isn't that true?
That is true. He
Yeah.
was the first in Las Vegas. He's
Yeah.
not the first, though. The first was at Harris.
Here locally. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think in Las Vegas, Taylor was the very first listener that we
Yes,
met.
yes.
So Taylor contacted us and he said, all right, I'm going to Vegas. I want to make a bet for you guys. Should I bet on the Aztecs, San Diego State Aztecs for this football weekend, or on the Chargers? And the Aztecs were like 6-point favorites.
Right.
And the Chargers were 7-point underdogs.
Correct.
So you decided, I let you decide, and you
Yeah.
decided to have him bet on the Chargers.
Right. Because
Right.
we were getting 7 points.
We were getting 7
The
points.
Aztecs were playing Cal and giving away 6. And I thought the Aztecs were going to win. They were
Yeah,
favored,
yeah.
and Cal's on kind of a down year.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's the Pac-12. I thought that could be close.
Yeah, right.
So I thought, let's go with the Chargers and hope they can keep it somewhat close.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a good decision on your part, because
Right.
although the Aztecs did win, they did not cover.
Right.
And the Chargers lost, but they lost by less than 7.
Thank God that it went into
It went into overtime,
overtime.
right? Because
because the Chiefs ended up scoring a touchdown.
Right, and
But
so it was
because-
overtime, so
it's
game's over. They don't
yeah,
kick
so they
the
just
extra
get
point.
6 points.
Yeah.
They don't kick.
Yeah, in fact, Taylor, in his phone call, Taylor even mentions that.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Taylor from New Mexico. Just finished the Chargers game. I did not realize that they don't kick an extra point at the end. So that's good. Well, at least the Fed won. The Chargers still lost, but oh well. I wanted to point out that it was super impressive of Dr. Mike's pick. I think San Diego State won by 5 and
Yeah.
the spread was 6. So, that game would have lost. Hey, question. So, the amount will be weird because I just bet $11 thinking it's always $11. So it's actually minus 120 and even on the other side of the spread. I was just wondering why do they do that? Is that their way of moving the point spread without moving the spread? Yeah, just kind of curious. I wonder if you guys know that. Anyway, we'll see you guys at Vince next month. Bye.
Yeah, typically on point spreads, you lay $11 to win 10.
Right.
They call it minus 110.
110.
Right. Typically, that's the way that it is, no matter which side of the spread you're betting on.
Correct.
And the short answer to Taylor's question is yes, it is kind of a way to move the line a little bit. You will see this most often when the spread is exactly a touchdown. Like 7 points, a touchdown, an
Right,
extra point.
right.
Like exactly 7 points or exactly a field goal, exactly 3 points.
Right.
Rather than mess with the line too much because of that
halves.
exact thing.
Right.
Sometimes they will move, what you have to wager. And in this case, like Taylor was saying, he had to lay, it was minus 120 to bet on the Chargers plus 7. And to bet on the Chiefs, it was even, just 100.
Right.
To give
win.
up the 7 points. Right. So,
But he would have bet 100 to win 100.
right. If he'd
And-
bet on the Chiefs and the Chiefs had won. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And
Right.
the Chargers, he'd bet 120 to win 100.
Yeah. Exactly.
But he bet 110. Well, he bet 11. So
No, he bet 12.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
bet 12. Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that's great. So he made that bet for us, and he made bets for, I think, also for 500 and Vegas Fanboy. All his bets won.
Really?
All the podcast bets won.
and
Yeah.
they picked their winners too.
I'm not sure, but I think they did.
Yeah,
and
well, that's
and
great.
Taylor was saying, "Oh, I should have parlayed it," but
Yeah, really.
so-
Well, thanks, Taylor.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we really do appreciate
and
it.
I enjoyed because I'm watching the Charger game, thinking when they were up by 21 points,
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking, oh, we're going to win this bet easy.
Oh yeah, I thought
closer
I thought
than
the same thing. I thought, well, we're probably not going to win, and people might be laughing at me
Right.
saying that, but honestly, we are Chargers fans. So when we have a 21-point lead at
Right.
halftime, my son comes in and says, "Oh, Dad, you think they're going to win?" I said, "I don't know. I really don't know.
No,
we
no.
are used to
Yeah.
this."
My daughter, who actually won the football pool,
Yeah.
she did not take the Chargers.
Yep.
She took Kansas City.
Yep.
And she said in the third quarter, there's still time for them to lose.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And I'm like, at 12 years old, she's already learned what it took me 57 years to learn.
21-point lead at halftime. Now, Mike, you texted me and said that you literally threw up afterwards. Is that true?
And Mark said something about getting sick.
Uh-huh.
And yes, I had a friend of mine was over. Paul was over, watched the game with us. And I love Reuben sandwiches. You know that.
Yeah,
you know
sure.
I love Reubens.
Yeah, you love the Reubens.
But lately, my stomach and that sauerkraut have not been so good together. They're not a great combination. So Lynn made us Reubens, and like an idiot, I ate it.
Yeah.
Well, the game ended, and Paul left, and I mean, it was almost instantaneous. He left right as they scored the touchdown.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. I said bye to him. I've got to go to the and I went and threw up.
So
now-
was it the Reuben or was it the Chargers?
the Reuben or the Chargers? I don't know. It's probably a combination of both.
God.
I'll tell you what, the only thing worse than that game is if I'm the guy underneath the urinal looking up to see what the pay table is. That'd be the only thing worse than watching that game.
Honestly, I did tweet and I said, I hope that the Cubs win the World Series this year because the Cubs are like the last team that is supposedly snake bit.
Right.
The Red Sox
They've
won
got-
the World Series finally.
Right. The
So
Cubs still got the curse.
Right. If the
going.
Cubs can win, that's the end of it. Now San Diego absolutely is the most pathetic sports town in the country.
What is it with our teams?
Now look, you said it's crappy to live here. I love living here. But
Well,
I'll
the
tell you,
weather's great.
as a sports
the
fan,
weather's great, and there are some things. But as a sports fan, this has got to be the worst city to be a sports fan in the world. And it's not just that our teams are so bad; it's that we're kind of we're a Navy town. And so there's a lot of people here who are born elsewhere.
Oh, yeah,
and are
that's-
fans. So I mean, they're constantly not in a bad way because people in San Diego are nice.
Yeah,
but you can't go anywhere without seeing every other jersey.
Oh, that's
of
it.
Every other team.
You go to a Padre game, you go to a Chargers game. It's not unusual to see more fans for the visiting team there.
Exactly.
True. So that that does
because
happen.
we
yeah.
have a lot of transplants here,
Yeah.
and it's a great place to vacation.
Yeah, yeah.
So we play Pittsburgh, and everybody leaves Pittsburgh and comes to San Diego for the weekend, which I completely understand. But it's rough on us.
All right, folks. I know you're probably tired of this because we do whine about this quite a bit.
Well, I
but
was born here,
it's-
so I've got something
after this
invested.
Chargers loss, good Lord. All right, let's move on. Next call.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Wendell from Denton, Texas. I'm part of the Denton Dallas Beyond crew. Looking forward to Vimp in a few weeks, and I've been listening to pretty much all your shows the last at least year or two. And I met you guys last year at Vimp, and I know you were talking about bankrolls. We're going to be there Wednesday night of Vimp, leaving on Monday of Vimp. So I'm thinking I'm bringing like $200 to $300 a day because you got to tip everybody. What are y'all thinking on that? 'Cause y'all play a lot of craps, but I play mostly video poker and a little bit of blackjack, and I do want to play craps with y'all. So you mentioned meeting Friday at the Golden Gate at noon. How much do you think I should bankroll that morning or plan to bring that morning? See if you can talk a little bit about that for me. All right, love the podcast, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. So as far as the whole weekend goes, so Wendell says they're getting their Wednesday night, leaving Monday. That's a pretty long time.
That's a long time.
$200 a day. I mean, we can't really answer that. It really depends on what you say.
yeah.
You play a lot of video poker and
if you're
blackjack. That's
playing
kind of
25-cent video poker,
that's probably okay.
that's probably okay.
Sticking
If you're
in
playing
that.
dollars,
But again, it
it's
depends
not
on how
gonna
long
be.
you play too.
Yeah,
So
right.
now, as far as our meetup goes, this is actually good timing because they just announced our official meetup at VIMP is going to be on that Friday at 1 p.m. at Golden Gate.
Okay.
They are going to have a craps table for us, and we're going to take it over. And the idea that we want to try to do is to have novices come at that 1 o'clock time and come to the table. We'll teach you how to play.
Okay, now define novice.
Well, somebody who maybe has never played before, or maybe played and didn't, thought, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, right? Went in there and played
or
a little
how
bit,
about
but really
somebody
didn't
who
know.
just played, but is not real certain about a lot of bets.
I mean, sure, anybody who feels like they need some assistance in as far as the rules go or etiquette, because we're going to cover everything. We're going to
craps handicapped people.
Yeah, we're going to tell you how to buy in, where to put the money, how to hold the dice, how not to hold the dice. You know, there are certain rules that are absolutely enforced, and then there's some etiquette that, you know, is not enforced, but you need to be aware of. And where do you place your bets? What bets can you touch, but other bets only the dealer touches? We're going to go through everything.
Yeah, who can you touch? Who can't
Yeah,
you
that's
touch,
right. That'll be at 1:00, and then the icebreaker is at 2:00, also in the Golden Gate, and we will probably just continue to play. And so anybody who wants to, you know, join in, we'll play. We'll probably get there early. We're actually staying at Golden Gate that first night, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
The first night we were at Golden
So
Gate.
we'll be there. So, you know, we'll probably be milling around in the morning too. And we don't know how many people are going to show up, but if somehow you get shut out, or you're there and it's just too crowded, it's like, oh, I wanted to learn. We're going to be there all weekend. Find us. It may not be a Golden Gate. It may be anytime we're playing, anytime.
Yeah, you know what? As a matter of fact, well, this is what we'll do. If somebody can't get in or it's too crowded, just come up and tell us, like, and we'll tell you where we're going to be, like, you know, Friday morning.
Well, yeah, or like Saturday morning, you know, like the next day or something. Yeah, we'll set up other times
whenever
that, you know, are maybe not like officially through the casino, but maybe, hey, yeah, we'll meet you over at the D at, you know, 10:30, or, you know, we'll see you over at Downtown Grand at 4:00 or whatever, you know. So please come up to us, and during that whole icebreaker too, I have a feeling that you'll probably stay at the table. I'll be milling around and coming back and giving some reports.
No, that
to you
would
and
never
schmoozing
happen.
with everybody. So and we'll write all this down. So please come up to us and say, hey, you know, if you get shut out or something, hey, I really want to learn to play. And even if you just run into us and we're at a table, we're playing, we would love to just, come on up, we'll show you how to play.
Right.
Yeah. Now,
And if you already know how to play, just come play.
Oh,
with us.
absolutely. If you're a professional craps player, absolutely come and play. Yeah, we want to play with everybody, and we're really looking forward to VIMP. It's going to be very exciting. Now, Wendell, as far as a bankroll for that initial session, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a $5 table.
Okay.
And again, you know, I think it's going to be kind of slow and for novices right away. So I'm thinking like a couple of $100.
Oh, that'd probably be more than enough.
We will advise you on how to make that last at a $5 table, because you go through $200 at a $5 table easily.
Very fast if you're making certain
They have like
bets.
10 times odds there, right? So you can get wiped out. So
Sure,
we'll kind of
sure.
show you, you know, what bets you can make to last with that. So
Well, and you don't have to, I don't want anyone to be afraid, like, oh, they've got 10 times odds. You don't have to take 10 times
and you know,
odds.
that's,
you can take
yeah,
single odds.
That's right. And it's a good point too. Here I said $200. Hey, if you've got $25, come up to the table. We can show you how to play at a $5 table with $25.
Right.
Okay.
You just-
So
you're
don't
gonna
think
make-
that you
you're gonna
need a
make
lot of
fewer
money.
bets.
Right.
But you know, you're still in the game.
Yeah, we'll show
Things
you
can
exactly
happen.
what we do. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's hear from Carl.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. Carl from Maryland. Quick trip report. Last Sunday, my wife and I went up to Rocky Gap Casino in Maryland. It's up in Cumberland. It's like a 2-hour drive from where we are. It's a really way far out there. It's attached to a resort. Very small casino floor, mostly machines. Probably only had a dozen tables, one of which was a craps table, which I was excited about. Not really our scene. We would normally have driven that far to go to Atlantic City or somewhere else, but we didn't have our $1 chip from there, as we collect $1 chips from all of our favorite casinos, or all the casinos we go to.
You know, that reminds me, they're having an event also at VIMP, the Nerdcore Beach Club and Swap Meet on that Saturday.
Okay.
And it's going to be at the pool at the D, and it's going to be kind of a combination of like a day club and a swap meet. And the idea is to maybe swap Las Vegas collectibles.
Okay.
I've got a ton of casino chips that are kind of just sitting in a box. You know, I used to collect them, but now, you know, they're just collecting dust. I think I may bring them, and if people are interested, you know, maybe I can
swapping chips?
swapping, or maybe I'll just sell them, because you know, I don't really have a
Well, do
a
you
spot
have
for them or
any
anything.
interesting ones?
I know I've got from Caesar's Palace 25th anniversary.
Okay,
I've got like a
yeah.
$25 chip from their
Right.
25th anniversary. So I do have some that are kind of
that
specialty
might be
like
hard to
that.
find.
So
Remember the Harris properties? Well, I guess it was Harris before they were affiliated with Caesars. And they had a lot of commemorative chips.
I remember
and
that a
for
lot,
the
yeah.
longest time, I collected them. And they used to have them displayed, you know, and you could ask, oh, I want that chip
Yeah,
or
yeah,
this
yeah.
chip. And they would have them. So I've got
Do
a
you
lot
still
of
have
them.
them?
Oh, yeah, but God knows where they are.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
if you
they're-
can find them, bring them.
they're
and
in
we'll-
the house
we'll go.
somewhere.
Yeah. All right, back to Carl.
Craps table, $5 minimum bet, so I was really happy for my bankroll. I could take full odds and bet across, occasional hard ways here and there. First time I've ever played the all small, tall, nothing at all bet. I was playing $5 on each one. Hit one small, hit one tall, which really helped keep me in the game, or actually I finished above where I should be. Fun bet, changes the game, I'll tell you. You start cheering for that more than you do necessarily the numbers or the pass line. But overall, it was fun. It was an interesting side bet. I hope I get to play it again. Love the show. Talk to you guys. Bye.
You even mentioned it once, how sometimes that all small tall creep up on you.
Right.
And suddenly it's like, oh, look, all we need is a 4 or, you know, a 2 or whatever.
And it's usually some weird number, like, you know, it's 6. Oh, we just need a 6.
Yeah, when it's that, it's like, come on.
Yeah. It's funny. Did you notice he said all small, all tall, and nothing at all?
Yeah, it may be that. So that's the bet. I'd like to bet on the nothing at all.
Yeah, I'd like to bet
that's
on
called
that.
an any 7, Mike.
Yeah, I'd like to bet on that every time. That seems to hit a lot for me. I also like Rocky Gap Casino.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
It's a great name.
It's a great name. I mean, who came up? We should look that up because I'd like to know who came up
See
with
where it came from?
Yeah,
All right.
Rocky Gap.
Yeah. Well,
Casino.
there's probably a rocky gap right there. It's probably built in a rocky gap.
What's a rocky gap?
I think you can use your imagination, my friend. I think
Oh,
we've seen a few rocky gaps in our time.
Yeah, I've got a rocky gap right now.
All right, here's Chris.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Chris over in Keller, Texas. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a trip report I had on the Labor Day weekend. I had the joy of hanging out with Karen and Mark from 360 Vegas podcast. Great people. We hung out. Also had another listener of the show, Ryan, and his girlfriend, Rebecca, came from California.
Yeah, we know Ryan and Becky.
Ryan. Yeah.
Tunica also. So, but I was going to let you know about Tunica. We went down to Tunica on that Saturday night. We stayed at Gold Strike. Basically, Tunica is grassland by the Mississippi River, not actually on the river, but by the Mississippi River. And pretty much that's it. You've got grass, and then all of a sudden you'll get to where the 3 really good casinos are. It's called the Roadway, which used to be a Sheraton. Then there's a Horseshoe, which is Harrah's, or Total Rewards. Then there is Gold Strike, which is MGM, or M-Life. And what it is there's a big cul-de-sac, and that's where those 3 are. And the other hotels are kind of sketchy and But we went to Gold Strike, stayed the night, real nice room and everything, and then we ate at the buffet, and then we went over to Horseshoe and gambled. The gamble was pretty good. It was a nice casino. Drink service on the craps table was a little non-existent for a little bit. You know, Mark at one point got a little upset and wanted to just go play slots just so he can get a drink. Played craps for a little bit. I got up about $60. Then we went and did blackjack, and that blackjack was actually a lot of fun. The dealer was real friendly, and buddy of ours, Alistair, had told us about a betting method that I'm sure a lot of people use, but I never really done it before. But basically, you take $10, and then if you win, you take 5, and then you put the other 5 back on, so now you got 15. You win that, you win 15, then you take 5, and you keep adding 5 to it. And at one point, I'd gotten up to about 25. At one point, I got 30. But when I was at 25, I hit 2 8s, so I had to split. Got a third 8. Mark's like, dude, this is why I don't like this.
Yeah, that's
and
where
luckily, it came out where the dealer busted. But just wanted to let you know, I had a great time in Tunica, but really, there is nothing else in Tunica but casinos. They try to say that it's the Vegas of the South, and it is not. If you really want a Vegas of the South, you're never going to find a Vegas of the South. But if you have to find something like that, definitely go to Shreveport. Anyways, love the show. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, that kind of reverse martingale, you know, where you're actually adding when you win.
Right.
Yeah, when you hit those hands in blackjack, oh, no, I've got to double down, or oh, no, I've split 4 times.
Yeah, it's when you're splitting and doubling down that system
it can catch you up.
Of course, if you hit them right, it's great, right?
Yep,
you got more out there than you normally would.
Yep.
I wonder if Becky and Ryan, if Becky went and bought them McDonald's at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's what happened at Vimp last year.
I'm never going to forget her for that.
We're at Monte Carlo, and it's like, we're kind of hungry. Well, I'll go get you something. Yeah, she went and got McDonald's first while we're at the table. They wouldn't let us eat at the table, so I just stepped away. I'm off this roll.
To eat my double cheeseburger. I think she got me a double cheeseburger.
Yeah. All right, one final call from Han, a trip report, a Macau trip report.
Hello, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Han from Chicago. We met last year at VIMF, and you taught me how to play craps. Anyway, I'm just calling after a trip to Macau. I was there about a month ago now. Can't believe how time flies. Just wanted to tell you that it was a great time over there. I didn't actually gamble all that much there because the minimums are quite high. The game of choice, of course, is Baccarat, and I'm not really into it, although maybe I will get into it. I just need some more practice at the game. Although it's actually pretty brainless from what I can tell. You just either choose banker or player, and you go from there. The drama is in watching people peel their cards back and all the kind of group dynamics that ensue. Anyway, the game I tried to play was blackjack, and their blackjack over there is quite different. For example, they all use auto shufflers, which I don't particularly like, and the dealer does not take a whole card. I was looking at the Wizard of Macau, and they say that the odds or the house edge is not that great, but my experience in playing over there was not all that fun. I think it's the auto shufflers. I know the math is the math, but I feel like the auto shufflers keep from the tens and faces and aces from bunching, and so it just doesn't feel right to me. I don't know. I am not a card counter, so that's not why I don't like the shufflers. Again, I know the math is math, but it didn't work out. Anyway, I just wondered if you rely solely on the math or if you go by feel. I have a feeling I know what the answer is from each of you, but I hope you guys can make it out to Macau. The resorts there are fantastic, and also there is some craps in Macau, so there's more incentive for you to go. Again, the resorts are fantastic there, and just being in a different country, you're exposed to different sights and smells and foods. It's just fantastic. I highly recommend you guys check it out. I would love to hear a trip report from your perspective one day about Macau. It's something to behold. As you know, the Parisian just opened yesterday, and I was at the Wynn Palace opening, and that was fantastic. Hope to talk to you more about it at this year's VIMP in person. Take care. Bye.
God, VIMP is going to be huge this year. Everybody's coming.
Everybody's going to be there.
Yeah, math versus feel. I think you already knew the answer to that,
if
Han.
you've listened to this show once, you probably,
that's probably
people
it.
probably know.
I'm math. Dr. Mike is feel.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, we'll cross the aisle, but for the most part...
I probably cross the aisle a little more than you.
Absolutely. Yes,
right.
absolutely is true.
Because
yes.
I know the math. I know the math quite intricately. Yeah. So every once in a while, I'll go with the math. But I like the feel. Mark, you're more...
You have... That's the way that you have fun.
Yeah.
I like having fun, not smiling ever, not talking to anyone, just watching the dice, watching my bet, not cheering.
Actually, it's more like watching your phone and the Sudoku.
When things are going bad, it's the Sudoku all the way, baby. Yeah. I hate to say this, but at least for me, I don't know about you, Mike, but I can't see me ever getting to Macau, to be honest with you.
I would go.
I'm sure you would,
I would go
but
in
I just
heartbeat.
can't. I just can't see it in my future.
Yeah,
with everything.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
For me, it's going to be when my kids are a little older.
Well, of course,
and
sure,
on their own,
sure,
and stuff. Then my wife and I would probably go to Macau. I'd love to travel to places like that. Yeah. My wife's not big on going to Asia. She wants to explore Europe more.
Has your brother been to Macau?
I want to say no.
Okay,
he's gambled in Asia.
Right.
I mean, he's been to Shanghai, he's been to Beijing.
Just hasn't been
gambling,
to Macau. Okay,
but I don't think he's been to Macau. He's been to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
But I don't know that
he'll probably
gambled
get there
in Macau.
eventually. He travels quite a bit. Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Hey, we want to thank some people for some PayPal donations. First of all, James. He says he had a successful gambling trip to Vegas. Thanks for the podcast. Thank you very much, James. Also, Chaz Gator. Not his real name. Love the show. Wish me luck on an upcoming stay at the Encore. I'll be sure to bet a few hard ways for Dr. Mike, even though I know better.
Yeah. See, now, even though you know better, Chaz, you should bet him.
Yep.
Because one of them's going to hit, and you're going to be thinking, God,
why didn't you?
Why didn't I do it?
Yeah, yes. Also, thank you to Terrence for the PayPal donation. He says, overdue for a royal flush. Hot roll on the craps table and fire bet. Good karma donation for my Vegas trip this weekend. Hope you had a good weekend, Terrence. And finally, Taylor. He made that Chargers bet for us, and he won. Yep. So thanks very much for
thank you. Yep. And I hope everyone does have good luck. I'm wishing these guys. I hope in some way this does bring them good luck.
Oh, yeah.
I know you know that it doesn't.
No, of course
the
not.
math doesn't work out that way.
Not at all.
But I have a good feeling about it. I have a good feeling.
Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program to search through all the raw American TV data. Just go to our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com, and click on the link at the top that says TV listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat. We tweet when we're heading to a casino, and we'd love to meet up with you, and we're going to be tweeting like crazy when we're at VIMP. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. And finally, head on over to iTunes and write a review on us. When you do, it helps us get new listeners. Are you in a better mood now, Dr. Mike?
I'm in okay mood.
All right.
But, I just, not to beat a dead horse.
All right, sir.
I.e. Charger. For people who don't know, that's our logo, this Charger horse.
Yeah.
But it's football season.
Yes.
And even though they suck, and they will suck all year, I am very excited about football season.
Oh, of course.
Again.
Yeah, it's always fun.
And, we need to talk a little more about that on our show about football wagering.
Should we? Okay.
Stuff.
Yeah, I guess we haven't talked about that in a while. So, maybe next week
next
episode we'll talk about stuff.
We'll go over some Charger bets. Forget the Chargers. We'll go over football bets.
Maybe we'll talk about teasers, because I don't know.
Yeah.
Have we talked about teasers on this?
No, I don't
that
think
might be
so.
good. That'd be a good
teasers
topic.
would
Yeah.
be a good thing. Because that's something people probably aren't familiar with.
I would say most people don't. Yeah, unless
you are a real sports bettor.
Right, yeah.
So, we should talk on that. And my daughter won the football pool again the first week.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that.
Why does she win so much? So
I don't know what to
asked
think.
her, and I've been thinking about this for 3 days now. She won the football poll. She actually tied for the most wins, but she won the tiebreaker.
Yes.
Because she picked a low score on
Yes,
Monday night,
right.
and she picked San Francisco. And
Yes.
I said, how did you come up with that? Because she typically picks scores in the 40s.
Okay.
But she picked lower. She said, well, they're both bad teams, Dad. And San Francisco's at home, so I just picked them because I figured they're at home and they're both bad. I'll pick a low score. And that's how she won. And I've been thinking about this all week. We overthink all this crap.
Yeah, well, there
We
you go.
overthink it like crazy. And it's not just in our sports betting and wagering. It's at the craps table and everywhere. Just go with the flow. Go with the feel, right?
Go with the feel.
I mean, use the math and make some smart decisions. But sometimes you just have to think like a 12-year-old and say, yeah, they both suck. I'm going to go with a low score.
I'll tell you this. I don't know if I've ever told you this. I was in a football pool years ago at my old company, and it was one of those weighted pools where you assigned a value like 1 through 16 to all the games.
The team
right?
you're most comfortable with.
Yeah, you'd get
16,
more. Yeah, you'd get more credit for
Right.
I would randomly assign those numbers.
Right.
I'd make all my picks like I regularly would, and then I would just randomly assign the numbers.
Right.
And I won that pool so many times.
So what you're saying is there's no math involved here at all. It's just
You know me, I'm not a math guy.
it's just pure luck.
That's right.
But anyway, thank God my daughter wins. She's keeping me alive in this.
I know
football
she
pool
is.
stuff.
I know she is.
The last 3 years, seriously, she has beat me like 3-1
Yeah.
on picks.
Yeah.
And I'm like studying everything.
Yeah.
I'm looking online for statistics.
Yeah, you're wasting your time.
Who's out and who's in? No, they both suck.
Yeah.
They both suck. I'm going to take the home team.
Yeah, I'm gonna All right. Thanks for listening.
Good night.